What I'm about to say is in no way, shape, or form to offend anyone, meaning parents on a general. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time. And some people may be able to relate, while some won't be able to relate. But this is about mental childhood trauma or parental trauma. There are a lot of parents out here growing up have experienced a lot of things, and they are still not able today to talk about those things that they went through as children, things that they experienced from their mothers or fathers, whomever. But it's mostly parents. And growing up as a young lady, I've experienced my share. And I'm not going to blame parents and say that, you know what, they're wicked or they should be held accountable. I'm not saying no. But what I'm saying is that a person can only teach what they know. And if your parent went through that same experience that you went through, you and I went through, they're going to pass it down to us regardless. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know anything, you won't be able to teach anything. Our parents, fathers, mothers, they have went through things themselves. They have went through pain and emotional trauma, whether it's physical or verbal, physically or verbally. They have went through things that they themselves have not healed from. They haven't dealt with it. They haven't admitted that they have went through stuff. And because they have not healed from those past emotional trauma, they grew there in adult age now, have children, and haven't healed from those situations or those experiences. They now pass that down onto us, and we now are passing back that same type of mentality or experience onto our children. Many times we don't speak of things. We don't want to speak about things because we find it too difficult to talk about it. But we not admitting to ourselves that we need to change. We need to make a change so that our children don't go through the same thing and experience the same thing and have to pass on that to generation after generation. With that being said, the whole thing that I'm trying to say is this. We shouldn't be so hard on our parents. Even though some of them do some really shitty things, I'm not going to say they're innocent. But what I'm saying is that a lot of them haven't healed, haven't forgiven themselves, are still living in doubt and fear and anger and frustration. And too many times I've seen that happen in the black community. African American descendants. We are not giving ourselves that time to really sit down and forgive each other, to sit down and to listen to each other, to sit down and let each other express ourselves and to really sit down and communicate. Civilized people. Calm, relax, calm, cool, and collected. What I'm trying to say, this might be, I'm trying to gather my thoughts out here in the open, and I'm getting there. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to come to a point where we need to sit down and speak. To really sit down and let all these things out, and not live and have these things go on from generation to generation to generation to generation. We need to put a stop to these things, but we first need to heal and admit that when there's something, we keep putting those things under the mat, sweeping it under the carpet, sweeping it under. It's not going anywhere. We are hiding it, but it's not going anywhere. The only way to overcome fear is to really face it head on and just seeing where we can work with it and solve the problem. We don't solve problems by just hiding it or not wanting to deal with it. You have a cut, you want the cut to heal, but you're just hiding, you're covering it. Instead of opening it and letting it get some air and treating it, giving it the right things that it needs to heal, to see in a better state. You know, not to keep this video too long because there's so much for me to say and I can't do it in this space and time. You know, but what I'm saying is that we need to understand that our parents were once young. They went through something that they themselves, they don't know how to deal with, and because they have not healed from those experiences, they pass on that same type of behavior to us. And now that we are older, we have a family of our own, we take on that same type of personality and pass it on to our children. And the only way that we can stop that is by first forgiving ourselves first, and then forgiving our parents and understanding that they cannot teach what they don't know. And we need to sit down and communicate the best way that we can. And the only way that we can do that is by first educating ourselves, giving ourselves that time and that grace to really love and appreciate each other. Yes, you may be asking yourself, of all times to talk about this thing, you choose Valentine's. Every day is Valentine's Day. I'm not going to wait until one special day, whatever day, to appreciate someone or to give them something. Every day is bloody Valentine's Day, but I don't want to offend anyone, but because each and every one's choice. But what I'm saying is that trauma is a serious issue. That's something that we need to deal with and something that we need to really talk about. And the only way it can stop and end is by first starting with yourself. Saying that this is part 1. I hope I haven't bored you to death. But if you understand where I'm coming from, probably you can relate. Just let me know if you reached this far. I'm grateful that you did. Thank you.